Hey folks, Charlie Westeros here with another House Facts video. I figured that, considering we are currently in the midst of Season 8, and since she was knighted a few episodes ago, exploring Brienne's ancestral house would be a decent choice. Before jumping into the facts, I do want to let you guys know I've finally started to actually use my Facebook page, so in those cases where YouTube doesn't send you the notifications for my videos, I will also be posting them there as well. Link is in the info box below. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into the facts, starting with number 1, the Kingdom of Ptarth. In the early millennia of Westeros history, when the continent was divided between hundreds of minor kingdoms, the island nation of Tarth comprised one such kingdom. Supposedly, the head of the Tarth family is known as the Evenstar, a tradition which dates back to Tarth's early days of independence. Unlike many other regions or houses who were brought under the control of one of the great houses of Westeros by force, the Kingdom of Tarth peacefully joined the realm of the Storm Kings when Edwin Evenstar of Tarth married his daughter to King Durrandon of the Stormlands. As a result, it is reasonable to assume that those successive Storm Kings and their Baratheon descendants have at least one ancestral family member from the House of Tarth. However, despite the peaceful union between King Durran and King Edwin's daughter, the island did rebel against the authority of the Durrandons 3 times during the reign of a Storm King known as Durwald the Fat, a seemingly unpopular ruler as much of the Stormlands realm broke apart during his rule. Number 2, the perfect Knight of Tarth. Although Brienne in the books and to some degree in the show is known for the importance she holds with regards to the ideals of knighthood, she certainly isn't the first warrior or knight of Tarth known for such virtues. According to legend, the island of Tarth was home to a certain Sir Galladon of Morn, a knight who reportedly lived on the eastern part of the land. He is apparently remembered as a perfect knight whose valor was so great that one of the 7 Andal gods, the Maiden, fell in love with him. To show him her love, the Maiden gave Sir Galladon an enchanted sword known as the Just Maid. No sword could check the sword's blows, and no shield could stop them. Despite the sword's power, Galladon is said to have only unsheathed it 3 times, of which 1 time was used to slay a dragon. Naturally, the authenticity of the tale of Sir Galladon is hotly debated. Some say he might have been a warrior from the Age of Heroes, whom singers later immortalized in the figure of a knight when the Andals introduced the concept to Westeros. One maester, Hubert, claims that Galladon was actually a recent historical figure, claiming that the ruins of the Knight's Seat at Morn were made by Andals rather than first men. Regardless of his origin, many nobles and small folk alike on Tarth claim descent from the perfect knight, Sir Galladon, and it is equally known that Brienne herself was inspired by this knight's tale, having heard his story during her youth. Number 3, the Targaryen connection of House Tarth. Although House Targaryen may be a strange house to connect with House Tarth, there are a few unique ways in which the Dragon Lords and the Evenstars are connected. Though Princess Rhaena, granddaughter of Aegon the Conqueror, flew her dragon Dreamfire over the island, it would be some 50 years later that the Targaryens and their dragons would come to the rescue of House Tarth, following the conquest of the eastern part of the island by pirates from the free city of Myr. First, it was the Targaryen prince Aemon who flew Caraxes to meet with the then Lord Cameron of Tarth in his hidden camp. However, when a Myrish scout attempted to assassinate Lord Cameron, it was Prince Aemon who received the fatal blow from an arrow. In retaliation for his death, Prince Aemon's younger brother, Prince Baelon, retaliated by burning the Myrish ships with his dragon, Rhaegar, while Lord Cameron and the then Lord of Storm's End, Borman Baratheon, slaughtered the Myrmen on land. There are a few other minor mentionable connections between House Tarth and House Targaryen. However, the most important one occurred during more recent events in the series. As revealed in the World of Ice and Fire book, according to Maester Yandel, House Tarth is supposedly, quote, an old family of Andal descent that boasts of ties to the Durrandons, the Baratheons, and more recently, to House Targaryen, end quote. The trouble with this statement is Maester Yandel does not elaborate on what he means, and this has led to a number of theories relating to the ancestors of House Tarth. Since Yandel uses the word recently, many believe that the common tie is due to someone from the past century. Although there are a few possible claimants, many suggest that the possible Targaryen ancestor of Brienne of Tarth may lie in one of King Aegon V's 2 sisters, the princesses Daela and Rhea, both of whom were married off, but it is as of yet unknown as to who their spouses were. Regardless, because of this potential Targaryen ancestor, This means that Brienne, as well as her father Selwyn Tarth, have a potential claim to the Iron Throne. Number 4. From Books to Show, a somewhat different Brienne. Although in the show and in the books the character of Brienne is nearly identical, there are a few differences between the two mediums. While in the show, Brienne isn't meant to reflect ideal beauty standards of Westeros, this fact is all the more heightened in the books, where she is, among else, described as having prominent and crooked teeth. Her mouth is apparently wide, her lips are swollen, and her nose has been broken a number of times. Her broad, coarse features are also said to be covered in freckles. Along with her features, her heraldry is played up in the books, where her dented steel is said to be a brilliant, deep blue cobalt. She apparently also wears a velvet doublet, quartered rose and azure, and her horse is barded with the quartered sun and moon heraldry of her house. Though in the show, there are some hints to indicate that Brienne might have been somewhat interested in Renly Baratheon, despite his sexual preferences. She seems to be altogether ignorant of those facts in the books, and was genuinely in love with him, since he treated her courteously when they first met. Even when Renly marries Margaery Tyrell in the books, Brienne is said to have been saddened by the occasion. Number 5. The missing link between Brienne of Tarth and Sir Duncan the Tall. One of the greatest theories in the book series involving Brienne is that of her ancestry. While Sir Duncan the Tall is only briefly mentioned in the TV series, he is known to have been the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard during the reign of King Aegon V. In Book 4, there are many hints leading people to suspect that Sir Duncan was potentially Brienne of Tarth's ancestor. However, it was in 2016 at Balticon where George R. R. Martin confirmed that, while there is a connection between Duncan and Brienne, the exact relation between them would be revealed in time. For now, there are a number of theories circulating as to the nature of their link. Considering Duncan became a member of the Kingsguard and thus sworn to celibacy, many suspect that Brienne's ancestor was actually born from an out-of-wedlock union. For now, the only member of House Tarth mentioned in the Duncan Egg prequel series, which featured the Lord Commander, is a knight named Quentin, who participated in the tourney at Ashford Meadow some 90 years prior to the current events in the series. Beyond that, there is no real interaction between Sir Dunk and any member of House Tarth. Some do, however, suspect the ancestry of Brienne's mother, who died so young that Brienne herself does not remember her. Another, more intriguing theory, however, posits that since Brienne of Tarth is said to have a relatively recent Targaryen ancestor, many believe that Sir Duncan the Tall had an affair with one of King Aegon V's sisters. Others posit that said Targaryen sister was married to the then Lord of Tarth and may have secretly passed off a child born from her union with Sir Duncan as her lord husband's. Whatever the case may be, we should hopefully soon find out the truth of the connection between Brienne and Sir Dunk. Well, folks, that is all for now. Do you know all, if any, of these facts? Which facts should I have included but didn't? Please let me know in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and don't hesitate to check out my other social media pages linked in the info box below. And of course, I will see you all next time.